She says, stop it, I swear to God we won't take you.
Liar.
Liar. You're making Sarah nauseous.
Too bad.
Liar. She said, what the hell are you doing? This is what we do at 11, honey.
A million pounds of raw sewage dumped in a local creek.
It's dangerous. I mean, especially with the kids over there fishing and stuff.
First Coast News is on your side with who's to blame and what it means for your wallet. Plus,
can you imagine, gasping for air when you're a baby?
For 18 minutes, an infant is left in a sweltering hot car. Tonight, the 2 big ways to avoid leaving your child behind. First Coast News at 11 starts now.
Good evening. First tonight at 11, a disgusting problem in a local community. 1 million gallons of raw sewage has been found in a West Side creek.
Concerned citizens called JEA after smelling what they call, quote, an extremely foul odor in the air. And it turns out you, the taxpayer, may end up footing the bill. First Coast News' Julia Janae is on your side tonight with who JEA thinks is to blame.
That's right, guys. Cleanup has been happening at the site, and it's under a warning not to drink, swim, or fish in that area. That's the Wills Branch Creek waterway, and there were several million-gallon sewage spills back during Hurricane Matthew in Jacksonville, but JEA tells us Mother Nature's not the problem this time, it's human nature.
Someone intentionally put wire down the system, and unfortunately this is the result.
An estimated 1 million gallons of sewage flooding a JEA lift station this week and making its way into the Wills Branch Creek near Lenox Avenue and Normandy Boulevard. JEA spokesperson Jerry Boyce says though this blockage was out of the ordinary, similar incidents happen like it all the time.
When you have rags or these flushable wipes or paper towels and they mix even with grease, it coagulates and it becomes like concrete.
Utility companies call it ragging the system, people putting items down the drain that just don't belong.
We are community owned. When we have to put extra dollars into the system, that money comes from the rates, so we all pay for it.
It worried me that that was that close though, actually. I had no idea.
For neighbors near the spill like Diana Aldrich,
people do some crazy stuff.
Having to pay for the mistakes of others,
I think they should have to pay if they find out who it is.
Just doesn't make sense.
I think somebody probably should if it was that close. I think they really should be going door to door to make sure, especially with the kids over there, yeah, fishing and stuff. Because there are a lot of kids that come up and down this road, a lot.
Now, this warning doesn't in any way affect tap drinking water, which is a separate system. Now, JEA tells us they will continue testing at the site to determine whether or not that waterway is going to be safe for the public again. For now, reporting at JEA, Julia Janae, First Coast News.
All right, Julia, thank you. Duval County's top educator had a long day in Detroit today, where he is vying to be the new superintendent there. He's one of 2 finalists, so he has a 50-50 chance of getting the job. First Coast News' Stephen Dial has been speaking with our news partners in Detroit and has the latest.
Jessica, in a matter of days, Dr. Nikolai Vitti could not be the top educator in Duval County, instead being the top educator in Detroit, Michigan, his hometown. As he had several interviews today, he did not hold back his strong dislike for public charter schools.
Holistic success takes time. And that's not an excuse. It's a reality when you're transforming a district this size.
That was Dr. Nikolai Vitti last year talking about the Duval County school system. Now he's vying to be the top educator in his hometown of Detroit, Michigan. He was hired back in 2012. A lot needed to change, including improving failing schools and graduation rates. Some of those failing schools are now better. The African American graduation rate is now one of the best compared to other large school districts. But he admits there is still a lot of improvement on things like low literacy scores for African American students in elementary school. The new job will also be a challenge in many ways. Vitti has been very vocal about his dislike for the way public charter schools are run and funded with tax dollars. Vitti told the community in Detroit that, quote, it's criminal that 80% of Detroit charter schools are owned by for-profit entities. He also said that if he is hired, he will, quote, put charter schools out of business. Duval County School Board Chair Paula Wright held a meeting last week to discuss options in case Vitti accepts the position in Detroit.
We want to be prepared as a board to do what is our charge, and that charge is to make certain that students are receiving an excellent education every day.
The other finalists in the Detroit school race will have his interview on Monday. Dr. Vitti can find out if he has a new job or has the potential of accepting a new job by the end of next week. Reporting live from the Duval County School Building, Stephen Dial, First Coast News.
Stephen, thank you. Well, it is a situation that unfortunately happens all too often. This week, 2 local parents have been arrested for allegedly leaving their children in hot cars. And today we learned that a 2-month-old baby was left alone in a hot car for nearly 20 minutes on Tuesday. That's according to police. Now, JSO says the car was parked directly in the sunlight outside of a Lowe's around 1 o'clock this afternoon, or yesterday afternoon. At that time, it was 85 degrees outside, and its estimated temperatures inside the car reached 110 degrees after 15 minutes. A stranger spotted the baby in the car, and he says after seeing sweat pouring down the baby's face, he grabbed a baseball bat from his car and broke the window.
Somebody says, hey, I was only going to run in for 2 or 3 minutes. That's too long. All your organs start shutting down. Once it gets to that point, you have swelling in the brain. It's almost irreversible.
Now tonight, that baby is in DCF custody. The mother, Zoya Thomas, was arrested after police say she admitted to leaving the child in a car while she went shopping for paint. Now, there are some easy ways to help you remember that you have a child in the back seat and to avoid leaving them there. First, good idea to keep something you need in the back seat, like your cell phone or even your shoe. Experts also recommend that you put a stuffed animal in the front seat as a visual reminder.
Tonight, we have some chilling surveillance photos from a home invasion robbery in the Ortega area. Take a look. You can see one of the suspects holding what appears to be an assault rifle. Investigators say the men forced their way inside the home and led the homeowner around at gunpoint while they searched for items to take. One of the suspects was wearing a hoodie that reads King 01. If you know anything about this case, please call JSO or Crime Stoppers, and you can remain anonymous.
New tonight, the Duval County School District has released another statement after 7 students and their bus driver were rushed to the hospital from a school bus. Now, initial reports suggested that the students got sick after inhaling cleaning products on board the bus. Well, now a district spokesperson says no students became ill, nor did any express complaints about a scent and odor or fumes. She tells us that the driver expressed concerns about the scent, pulled over, and that the students were transported as recommended by Jacksonville Fire Rescue just as a precaution.
Well, you won't be able to drive on 2 very popular beaches for a couple of months starting this weekend. Volano Beach and Porpoise Point in St. Johns County will not allow cars because there is a sand replacement project that's going to start. The sand will help replenish portions of the beach that have experienced severe erosion. Again, it's Volano Beach and Porpoise Point. They will be closed to cars starting April 1st. The project is expected to be complete by June.
A well-known criminal defense attorney will represent accused murderer Ronnie Hyde. Hyde is charged with the 1994 murder of 16-year-old Fred Laster. Yesterday, prosecutors added several child pornography charges. Ann Fennell, a former public defender, served on the Casey Anthony defense team back in 2011. She is perhaps best known for her work defending Jacksonville teenager Britton Butler, who was wrongfully accused of murder. That case was turned into a documentary called Murder on a Sunday Morning, which won an Oscar. Well, if your child attends Fleming Island High School, be sure that they bring bottled water to school tomorrow. There is a boil water advisory in effect, so water fountains cannot be used. That advisory is expected to last the next few days.
The case against an Orange Park man accused of plotting to blow up a 911 memorial event was back in court today. Joshua Goldberg was arrested in 2015. Until today, doctors at a mental health facility where Goldberg is in prison said he was not competent to stand trial. This week, however, those doctors released a report diagnosing him with autism and say they believe he can go to trial. The judge today said he wants to hear more from doctors and scheduled another hearing to talk about the travel concerns next week.
A Brunswick police officer has been placed on administrative leave after he was arrested in McIntosh County. Police reports show that James Crawford allegedly made threats in uniform toward a man who was making a court appearance involving Crawford's relative. He was arrested by McIntosh County deputies and has since been released on bond. Tomorrow night, a candlelight vigil will be held for a music teacher who was killed in her own home. Deborah Lyles worked at San Jose Elementary. She was found dead last Thursday. Police have not arrested anyone in this case. That vigil will be held tomorrow night right outside of her home on East 59th Street. It begins at 6 p.m.
The St. Augustine City Hall will soon be under a tent, a big one. The city will be fumigating the building in an effort to kill termites. It's happening during the 4th of July weekend, one of the busiest times for the city, but no city employees will be working that weekend, of course. The city building that houses City Hall was built in the 1800s as a hotel. The building now also houses the Leitner Museum, so preserving this historic building is really important.
And they attract a lot of termites in this area. And the last time we've done this was about 15 years ago.
Price tag for all of this, roughly $385,000.
Pretty big price tag there. Well, where you live, what you watch, what you shop for, all of that information could be for sale. The controversial bill that is set to be signed into law.
And having surgery is usually pretty costly, but up next, hear from the doctor who helped save a child's eye for free.
And once again tonight, plenty of storminess out to our west. That system is headed our way. We don't want the storms, but we sure could use the rain. We'll take a look at our chances in just a few moments.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
If you're already wary about online privacy, things are about to get even worse, or they could. A bill that allows internet providers to sell your browsing history is on its way to the president's desk. And it's not just your browsing history. Companies like Comcast and AT&T can also disclose what apps you use, your geolocation, and even what you watch on Netflix. Many people online are calling the bill invasive and just plain wrong. So, what can you do to help keep your data private? You can install a virtual private network, a VPN, on your computer. It costs a couple bucks a month. Heather?
Well, a young girl who almost lost her eye has new hope tonight thanks to the generosity of some local doctors. First Coast News' Honey Rodriguez visited with the patient and her doctor today. She joins us now. And Honey, this little girl hasn't been able to see out of one of her eyes for months now.
That's right, Heather. It's unfortunate, but she is as beautiful as she is brave. And I'll translate in Spanish briefly for her family. Es igual de valiente como es hermosa. This little lady, just 12 years old, left home with her mom to come to the First Coast for an opportunity not many get the chance to have.
Yariverlis Torres, like any 12-year-old at the doctor's office, was nervous and even more nervous in front of our cameras. She's here today for a checkup, just 9 days after having a life-changing surgery.
Decidimos venir hasta acá.
Her mother, Yarimel Torres, is explaining why they left Puerto Rico to come to Jacksonville. Yariverli suffered an accident which severely damaged her left eye.
No le aseguraban que le recuperaran su ojo.
Torres says doctors were not optimistic they could save her daughter's eye.
El ojo se me ponía más chiquitito.
She told me she knew her eye would shrink and she would eventually lose it. But thanks to doctors at Florida Eye Specialists in Jacksonville, they now have hope. The surgery, which would ordinarily cost upwards of $10,000, was done completely free.
This is so severe, the eye starts to shrink. And so we really wanted to get in there and repair things as soon as we could, because this is going to impact her the rest of her life.
That's what led them to Dr. Akbar Hassan's office. He says it took a team to make her surgery a success.
We contacted the eye bank in Tampa, contacted Wolfson's Children's Hospital, and along with myself and Dr. John Sullivan, who is with Southeast Retina, we were able to kind of coordinate our time and our schedule.
Something her family says they will always be thankful for.
De verdad que estoy bien agradecida.
Access to healthcare is always an issue, right? And as doctors, we're there for the community as well.
After finally warming up to our cameras, she was all smiles and asked me to say a few words to her doctor.
Pues le daba las gracias por salvarme mi ojo, por ayudarme.
Thank you for saving my eye. Thank you so much for helping me.
We really want to help people at the end of the day.
She was very, very sweet. Florida Eye Specialists do pro bono surgeries every year, but say it's based on a case-by-case basis. As for Yariverlis, she's expected to return home to Puerto Rico in the next couple of weeks, and doctors are actually hopeful she will regain some of her vision back. So best of luck to her. Heather, back to you.
Very interesting. All right, thank you. Well, a safety alert in Clay County. Here's another reminder to lock your car doors. You're looking at surveillance video of a man rummaging through cars that are unlocked in the Argyle area of Orange Park. This happened on Golden Pond Boulevard this morning. No word on what, if anything, was stolen. If you have any information, please call the Clay County Sheriff's Office about this case.
Engine trouble forced a plane to land on a Florida highway today. This happened in Broward County. Look at this. Officials say that the two people on board were aviation students. They say the engine failed. They had no choice but to land right there, right off of the highway. Fortunately, no one was hurt. No cars were damaged.
The next time you buy a lottery ticket in Florida, it could come with a warning. On Tuesday, a House panel voted on a bill that would require all lottery tickets to say, "Warning, gambling can be addictive." Republican lawmaker Jennifer Sullivan is sponsoring the bill. She says lotto tickets are sanctioned by the government and should come with a warning similar to those found on cigarettes. If the law passes, it goes into effect next January. In case you're wondering, the Mega Millions jackpot this Friday is $174 million.
Tonight, the wildfire that destroyed 3 homes in Brantley County is 80% contained. Firefighters say the blaze scorched more than 250 acres, and those who were evacuated last night are now tonight back in their homes. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. Meanwhile, dry conditions in Lake City led to a small brush fire outside of a Walmart. It happened this afternoon on U.S. Highway 90. Firefighters managed to quickly put out the flames, and they were able to put a fire line around the building. Good news, no one was hurt. And all these fires that we keep reporting on just show you that we really need some rain.
We really do. All the while during the afternoons now, we're increasingly seeing a records hit. Alma had a record today of 87. Incidentally, broke the record back in 1998, which 1998 was the year of the fires. Not saying it's going to be exactly that kind of the year, but certainly we're beginning to get more frequent reminders. Let's say it that way. Let's take a look back at this evening. Now, we did have a couple areas of isolated showers develop around the fires that occurred west of Briceville and in the Briceville area a week ago, and even over Brantley County. So it helped a little bit. I think we'll see a similar situation tomorrow. Again, helping a little bit. A better chance as we head toward Friday, although not a widespread soaker like we'd like to see, at least as far as the fires are concerned. If you're going to reach the beach tomorrow, 86 degrees. The sea breeze will arrive a little bit earlier. The sea temperature is continuing to rise towards 70. I think it'll make it there this weekend. The rip current and swell risk have dropped, will continue to drop, although still a bit of organized motion in the ocean tomorrow. Okay, what about out to the west? Well, certainly it has been a big storm maker. Talking about this next front from Texas into Oklahoma. Over the last couple of hours, we've seen wind damage reports across the Sabine River into the parishes of Louisiana through Arkansas and Mississippi. Going to be a rough night for those folks tonight, and then into Mississippi, Tennessee, and Alabama tomorrow. Lots of rain with it, but the computer models, if anything, are trending for the system to not just weaken. That's good news. So therefore, the risk of damaging weather on Friday continues to lessen, but also as they weaken, notice the more significant precipitation events. I'm not saying this is exactly how it's going to go, but this is a brand new computer model. Shows the heavier rains by Friday morning from Augusta north and about Tampa to the south, with just a few showers here. So we'll keep our fingers crossed, but maybe just about 40% of us receiving needed precipitation on Friday. And then on Saturday, we're going to be drier. So if you have outdoor plans on Saturday, looks great, but use some caution. Saturday afternoon, by the middle of the afternoon, relative humidity levels will drop down to about 20%, almost as dry as the conditions we had with the Briceville fire of a week ago. So use some caution. Sunday, another nice outdoor kind of a day, although these temperatures, even on the weekend, on the cooler side of the cool front, these temperatures will still be running about 10 to 12 degrees above average for this time of the year. So what about as we're looking to the west? Well, the system out to the west of us should bring us an even better chance of precipitation on Monday and Tuesday. But notice even here, I'm just going for about 60% coverage. At this point, we'll pretty much, I think, take what we can get. We're going to take a break, and then we'll get some sports in just a few moments.
Hello. How are you? Who am I speaking with? What's up? What? Jack? Oh. Okay. What's the deal, Jack? Did you get did you transition?
From the Farrah and Farrah Sports Desk, it's First Coast Sports.
Hello, everybody. For a team that is without star running back Dalvin Cook and defensive end DeMarcus Walker, it is not all that surprising. Jimbo Fisher is saying no leader has emerged. In fact, Fisher says he's displeased with the Seminoles' early spring effort, and he's calling for much more leadership.
As far as leadership's concerned, any guys
No,
out
that's
there
why we need more of it. We need more. I mean, I'm not mad at it. I just kind of the personality of this team. It needs more. It needs more of that. There's not a. We got a bunch of good guys. They're good kids. They really are. Need to be more exuberant, more dominant personalities and stuff.
Yesterday, we learned the NFL decided to create a new rule that would not allow players to leap over the line of scrimmage to block kicks. Today, several players expressed their disappointment with the new change, including Seattle Seahawks defensive end Michael Bennett, who was so angry he decided to take a random stab at our Jaguars. In fact, it's one of those comments sure to have you asking, seriously? Bennett said in an interview with Fox Sports, quote, most of the NFL games are decided by 1 point unless you're playing the Jaguars or something. Then it's decided by 50. The 1 point, blocking that, it makes a big difference. Michael Bennett, seriously, dog? Former Providence big man in Florida offensive tackle David Sharp started all 13 games at left tackle for the Gators and was one of only 2 Gators to do so. Next up, the NFL. Many believe Sharp will be selected day 3. Here's what Sharp had to say after being asked about the Jacksonville Jaguars and if there has been any talks between the two sides.
Have they contacted you yet?
Yeah, I definitely got to work out with them soon. So, definitely going to try my hardest to do well and have a great workout with them. Man, it would be crazy, man. It would be a dream come true, man. I love to do that. That's my home team. So, that would be a great experience.
It was an unforgettable night for everyone involved in the McDonald's All-American game played up in Chicago. The prestigious exhibition has featured several future Hall of Famers throughout the years. Reebok star Renaya Davis earned her opportunity to be in the national spotlight tonight, and she's taking her talents to Tennessee next year. All right, Renaya, establish her. There she is, looking good. And Renaya, she brought her A game to Chicago on the fast break. Lays it in. Yeah, she's representing for Duval. Later on, she shows you that she can also get it done on the boards. A miss, rebound, and put back. This game will go to overtime and in OT. The Florida Player of the Year. Yes, she got it done, laying it in as the East beat the West 80-74. Also in the boys game, Providence head coach Jim Martin, not featured, but believe me, he coached the East team in this one tonight. A lot of guys with a lot of talent got a chance to show their talents. Michael Porter Jr., no relation, had 17 points as the West went on to beat the East 109-107. Also Cinderella, the South Carolina Gamecocks made their way to Phoenix today. They are there in the Final Four for the first time in school history, and their coach is excited about it.
Now, I can't wait to go out in that dome and that open practice and eventually walk out and our team go out there and represent our state, our school, in front of 70,000 people. It's going to be just an incredible moment for all of us, something that we treasure for the rest of our life.
Hashtag Team Sideline. Good friend Michael Kay down in Miami today, and he got a pic of Patriots head coach Bill Belichick. Folks, we always encourage you to post your pictures on Twitter or